Good afternoon, Cross Timbers. Today is Tuesday, October 23rd, 2012. This is Texan TV News from Tarleton State University campus in Stephenville, Texas, and I am Erica Calhoun. In today's headlines, 11-year-old girl is charged with homicide. Iraq Kurds have promised to increase oil exports. Lawsuits filed against Texas schools. Hood County residents are warned about solicited calls. College Republican Shelby Bradley talks about voting on campus. Now today's top story. In regional news, beginning earlier this week, residents of Hood County have been receiving solicitation calls from a man who claims to be associated with the sheriff's office. According to the Hood County News, Sheriff Roger Deeds of Hood County says that the subject identifies himself as Jack Graham. Graham has been contacting homes and businesses requesting money for a Crime Stoppers poster to be put inside the schools. According to Deeds, Graham is a former employer of Law Enforcement Publications, a company that prints a calendar featuring Hood County Sheriff's deputies. Graham was terminated from the company due to solicitation for his own benefit, the sheriff said. In campus news, Shelby Bradley was here earlier today to talk about the presidential election and why it's important for our campus to go out and vote. Hi, I'm Erica Calhoun, here with Shelby Bradley, Tarleton State College Republicans. If you could tell us about your organization.
Yeah, sure. Tarleton State College Republicans started last year. It didn't really get going until this semester, though. Now we have about 20 members, and we have meetings every 2 weeks at 5 p.m., usually in the Humanities Building. I post stuff on the Facebook page, which you can find at Tarleton State College Republicans on Facebook. The reason why I started this organization was to get students involved and get in the know about politics and who's in office and that sort of thing, and help get students in the know so they can go and vote and be knowledgeable. Because when I turned 18, I felt it was really important that I know who I'm voting for and what they believe in, and if those are the same beliefs that I have. So basically that's why I started it.
Why do you feel it's important for students to vote in this district?
I felt it's really important that students go and vote because I've asked several students, are you going to go vote? And they tell me, no, I'm only one vote, it doesn't really matter. And I really feel like it does matter, because if 100,000 people feel that way, then it's only like a small group of people that are deciding who's going to be our next president or who's going to be our next congressman or senator or whatever. I think it does matter, and people fought for this right to vote. You know, we got the 19th Amendment. Like, for me, a woman, women could not be able to vote, and then once we adopted the 19th Amendment, we could vote. And so I think it's super important that women fought for this. People died for this right, and it's super important that we go and vote and use that right that we have.
Does your organization host meetings on campus?
Yes. Like I said earlier, we have our meetings in the Humanities Building. In the past, we've had it in room 108. And we are going to have about one more meeting this year. I mean, not this year, but this semester. And it's going to be our end of the year party. And I was thinking about having it at the Erath County Republican headquarters. But I will announce that on the website.
And students can check out the information on, you say you have a Facebook page and...
Yes, feel free to check it out, Tarleton State College Republicans Facebook page. Go on it and like it, and then I post all the updates and all the information on everything that you can find on there.
Okay, sounds great. Well, thank you for being with us.
Thank you.
And now today's Texas, national, and international news from the Associated Press. In state news, on Monday, 600 Texas schools argued that the finance system is so hopelessly broken that it violates the state's constitution by keeping students from being prepared for well-paying jobs. According to the Associated Press, 6 lawsuits have been consolidated into one single case on behalf of the 2/3 of the school districts that educate approximately 75% of the state's 5 million students. These lawsuits were filed after the state's school system received a $4 billion cut and another $1.4 $4 billion cut in grant money in 2011. Plaintiffs noted that the funds were cut after the Texas population had boomed and the low number of students had increased. Assistant Attorney General Shelley Dahlberg said, "This is not the first time that Texas schools have faced this issue. There have been several cases dating back to 1984. In national news, in Skowhegan, Maine, an 11-year-old girl became the youngest person to be charged with a homicide in the state for over 30 years. The girl was charged with juvenile manslaughter earlier this year in the death of 3-month-old Brooklyn Foss Greenway, and entered court with a plea of no answer. The cause of death was not been officially released, but the mother of Greenway has told her daughter had ingested medication and was suffocated. The state has requested that the girl be tried as a juvenile, and if convicted, the maximum penalty be incarceration until she reaches the age of 21. In international news, Iraq's Kurdish government has announced plans on increasing exported oils from 140,000 barrels a day to nearly 200,000 by the end of this year. The Kurdish government hopes to increase that number to 250,000 by next year, following the issue of payment for oil contractors. The Kurdish government has said that the overall success of the plan will reflect on Baghdad's willingness to pay for those oil contractors working in the Kurdish north. Iraq's central government has said it does not approve of any deals that have not been signed unilaterally by the Kurds. In sports, on Monday Night Football, we had a matchup between the Detroit Lions and the Chicago Bears. This game was a great matchup between the two defenses, making it extremely hard for either offense to get in the end zone. The Bears came out on top 13-7. This smooths the Bears' record to 5-1 and the Lions to 2-4. Next week on Monday Night Football, we have an NFC West battle between the San Francisco 49ers and the Arizona Cardinals. In local sports, the Stephenville Yellow Jackets got a win Friday night against the Alvarado Indians, 32-20. This win brings their record to 6-1. They have an important district matchup at home this Friday night against the 7-0 Venus Bulldogs. And in weather, today's forecast calls for partly sunny skies with a high of 81 degrees and a low of 62. Tomorrow we will see highs reaching 82 degrees with a low of 64. Today's broadcast was produced by Jessica Lee, Mark Mallory, and Winston Questenberry. You can follow us on ustream.tv/user/Texan News Service. Don't forget to tell your friends about us and become a fan of Texan TV News on Facebook. I am Erica Calhoun. Tune in tomorrow for the latest news from Tarleton State University campus in Stephenville, Texas.